once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. And I am Jack Talcott, and I'm sitting here, besides stumbling on myself, I'm sitting here just in a true appreciation for some of the folks who've already stopped by. Greetings and blessings to all of you, sincerely. And our poll, the Panaverse needs this peace. I hope to bring some peace. I saw there's lots of options, lots of things going on right now in the YouTube realm and elsewhere. And Bear Jew, blessings to you for your consistency here. Greetings, slaves, and to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, another consistent supporter, encouragement. Happy Thursday. Hey, everyone. Welcomes and blessings to you all. Start a few minutes early and probably just going to flow for a little while, but I am hoping the internet and the technology supports me. I hope I'm not roboting or any issues coming through. I really do hope blessings, I really hope just to share a little bit of fun, a little bit of peace and time together with all of you. Hello and blessing you. So let me jump into this. We'll get her started. In the background is just a bunch of Jack sayings like praise God and holy cows and live without fear and choose love and praise God. The sirens in the background. But today, here, pause on the words. Pause on these words from the scripture, Matthew 10:22. And he shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Now, I know what it does. It triggers a lot of people when I suggest that I'm trying to be more like Jesus, right? I'm trying to way. And I see a lot of people who use this excuse. They identify as a Christian, and so they feel attacked. Maybe that's what the Jews did too, when they felt they were special and separated from the Goyim. Who knows what people imagine, right? But these ideas of being separated, it's easy to feel like a victim when you think you're special, especially if you don't get treated like you're special. If other people don't think you're special and you think you're special and you're not treated like you're special, well, then you're a victim, clearly. And if you're a victim and you're hurt, then you've got righteous reasons for revenge and to become a perpetrator of all sorts of aggression in the name of self-defense, of course, right? All because you thought you were special. And then the others didn't agree. See, something I realized about myself along my way, I do have a conviction to purpose. I've got a purpose for my convictions. And that confuses people. Conviction to purpose, it can confuse those who are lost. Those who are lost from a reason for their time. If you're all about business and you come through someone who's watching the world like it's a circus and they're just entertained monkeys watching the other monkeys, well, they don't understand what business is about. But I tell you what, one who lives one who intent and consciously chooses to live with purposeful convictions. They'll see themselves living, achieving more than others will even allow themselves to dream of. I'm confident of this because the things I've done already, man. To me, it was like not a big deal, but to other people, it's like, wow, that really happened. And then there's other examples like that for me, other people experience things and they're like, yeah, well, whatever, no big deal. I'm like, wow, I don't get it. In regards to the thumbnail, I do consider myself to be a follower of the way. And it makes sense that when we commit ourselves to God, when we submit ourselves to Christ, it would make sense that the world will test us. It'll kind of cling on to us and try to bring us back down into the darkness and the density of war and oppression and bitterness and just selfishness and really just foolishness. So the world will try and tear you down if you start trying to raise yourself up, but that's a whole part of the test. How strong is your character? How powerful is your faith? Is your will? It's all up to you in the end. In the end, that's what I think you're going to discover. From the beginning to the end, it was always up to you, based upon the choices you found for yourself. It wasn't up to anybody else to do anything or to say anything, but everyone else and everything else were blessings. They were unique to each. We've just got in this lifetime, we have so much we can do if we start thinking big with love. There, we're finally into the topic. And boy, some days I look at, here I go, taking us off topic already. But I sometimes review my stream and then I look at the top and I'm like, Jack, out of that 2 hours, you spent what, a minute? A minute talking about, isn't that a little false advertising or something? And I don't mean to do that to you folks. I don't mean to, misrepresent with a catchy title trying to get people's attention and then give them something else. I do try to deliver with honesty, with integrity, with the purpose of sharing and growing love here in the world. Because I figure as long as I'm here in the world, I don't really feel a part of it anymore. I'm kind of separated from the world I used to know. And the world I found myself in with this panel verse and some of the characters I've met online, dude, it's hard to know. It's hard to know what is real. Are we having issues today again? I can understand. I've got something going on. I've got many things going on with my technology, and I'm trying to figure it out. But not really a boomer, but I got the limits on what. You know what? Bump it. That brings us to a perfect segue. Here's another topic for me to discuss. Change. I've said it before, but yesterday there was a comment from the chat, and forgive me, I didn't go back and review it so that I could give credit where it was due, but there was a comment that stood out. One that I've received before from others, and so it was another confirmation of something I should know. Might be time for a change for what Jack Talcott does, how I spend my time here on the channel. Maybe I've been making myself too accessible. right? People start taking for granted what is just, right there and easily there. And the old adage, distance makes the heart grow fonder. And I'm not talking about playing games or just taking a time off just to create time off. No. The suggestion from the comments yesterday was to perhaps step back from the live streaming, work on some specific topics, right? Unpack the topic, do a good job of delivering the content, and then share that. And that's exactly what I should be doing. I should be more focused on the results I want, the intentions, uh, the who I'm addressing. See, and this is where I always come back to. Every time I start thinking about refining the message, then my first thought is, who's the audience? Who is this message intended for? Because you got to know who you're speaking to. And when I do these live streams, admittedly, I'm coming in blind. When I join a lot of panels, I'm just coming in blind. I don't know what I'm stepping into, but I'm not entirely blind when I click go live on this channel, because I certainly have my intentions. I got my notes, my ideas. I know my purpose is aligned with many others, right? Purpose of peace on earth, reforms, stuff like that. I know that I align with many people. And here, Hard Arcade, Jack, what are you talking about? You know what? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for sure. Arpol, sincerely, thank you for your continuing support. The link tree for those who do wish to reach me, and your feedback too. And this burning tongue, you've been such a character of just throwing stuff at me, right? Kind of like your image. All this coming at me from your comments. Your boy Landry needs guidance. His behavior reflects on me? No. No. There's no reflection of me on him. That's for sure. He separated that. He refused what I offered. So you're just like this freaking, I don't know, parasite, bacteria, provocate. You're a catalyst for sure, but it's like an unpleasant energy that's being provoked, it appears. And I could be misreading you. I could be wrong, because I don't know you. You're just like an explanation I found. Holy cows, man. He's being he's being mean to so many others on the panelverse. Others I respect. Okay. Well, I'm not in control of anyone, really. Frank, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And you know what? We don't need to deal with any of that. Trixie, hey to you. Um, and it looks like things are coming together with you. I love this. I love this, man. Thank you. Pray 3-2, already a great show. Um, we're trying to bring things in here to be fun, to be encouraging, to be enlightening, because the reality is, if we are all willing to think big, okay, anyone can think small, but those who are daring will allow themselves permission to think big. Be daring, at least within your mind. You can do it in the comfort of your closet. You can do it on your bed, on your couch. You can do it wherever you want. You don't even have to tell anyone. If you allow your mind to move past all the limitations on all the reasons why not and why that's ridiculous, but you move into the impossible that could actually be possible and you think big. What if we all did that together with love, right? Thinking big with love, not just like selfish. I want to win the lotto so I can have money and I can just be you with money. All right. I guess what do I want? I just want to be me with others, honestly. I just want I want the right others with me so that the fruits and the time of my day, how I spend my time and energy is best utilized, right? Because I realize this Jack Talcott character, I truly do. I appreciate you tuning in, but I'm a wreck. I'm a mess. People have been telling me this for years. Jack, you need help. I'm like, I know, dude. I know. I need some help. Why don't you help me? No, you need the help that we're not going to give you. You need that help, Jack. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for that. I sure love the thoughts and intentions. Thanks for telling me you care. Trexty, this blessings to you. Jack, you can never know who will hear, who you'll reach, what'll happen. Just do you, friend. It's God's story, eh? I got to admit, this advice is one I've been so resistant to. Oh, I've been so judgmental about me and not doing enough. Why am I not doing enough? Why am I not doing more? You know you can do more, Jack. You know there's more in you. You know you could have done this and that, and you didn't do this or that, and you can still get that done, and you can still get that done, but what are you doing? That's the chaos and clutter I can find too, right? But I learned how to ignore that nonsense, right? Because truly it's God's will that will be done. There is no other thing than that. So don't resist God's will. Trust. Trust that God's will for you includes love, like infinite love, love without limits, right? So trust that God's plan for you includes love. And that means you may have to do, whoops. Oh man. Hopefully I'm back. If you're going to do what God wants you to do, right? You got to realize that maybe you might have to choose to do the things that you would really love to do, right? You might actually have to follow through with your dreams. I'm sorry, but if that's God's will for you, well, then there's no point in denying yourself that. Go after your dreams. Let me be a reminder, a voice of encouragement for you. You know, if you haven't found that one yet in your life, just let it be me or make one up. Give yourself an excuse to go for it. Go for the life of your dreams because it's just, a few steps away. Might take miracles. Might take God's grace, God's blessings. But if you align yourself with God's love, God's will, if you trust that God's will is to love, what is love like? It's not secretive. It's not punishing. It's not limiting. Love is fulfilling. Love is revealing. Love is illuminating. Love is empowering, right? That's who you are too. When you allow yourself to shine, you shine a wonderful example of you with your method of creativity, your method of wisdom, your method of giving you, right? You shine through that authentic example of child of God, right? That makes a difference in the world around you. So we're all making a difference in this world. But if you think small, you're going to do small. If you think big, you might actually discover some big, small steps you can do. You know, how do you get to the top of Everest? Well, one step at a time. Speaking of, I just saw some sort of news. I don't know what's going on, and I could be wrong, but is there a bunch of hikers, like 1,000 hikers trapped up on Everest or something? I brought that up. You reach your destination one step at a time. You consume an elephant one bite at a time. Why you would eat an elephant, though, I don't know. I never thought that thought through, but it's true. Anything we do, oh, dude, Bearju, you should have told me this like years ago, man. Don't give up your day job. I haven't had a day job in years. I used to work nights for years, but if God doesn't communicate directly, how are we supposed to know what he wants us to do? That's sincerely an honest question for all of us. Because that's me. I don't get the direct signs. Everything is a sign, everything is a symbol. And what we choose to do in the moments of those signs and symbols is entirely up to us. Those choices we make moment by moment reveals our karmic path. What are we going to choose? What's the reaction going to be? Excuse me, which patterns have to repeat? So here, I can honestly say I've never experienced what I can say is clear communication from God, not directly. I've interpreted a lot of patterns and synchronicities, things I noticed. Could be ordinary, but I gave them meaning. But whatever it is, how are we supposed to know what he wants you to do? Look to the facts. Okay? The facts, the facts may break your heart, but don't let the facts hold you back. Don't let the facts frighten you. The facts may point to pain, sorrow, loss, whatever, may point to the disaster, but don't let the facts, dampen you. Stay with God. God is above the facts. God is above the good and evil. God is that which reveals the truth, that offers the truth. And it's through the truth you find the answers you need. So if God doesn't communicate with you directly, look to the facts. Your feelings are a fact to consider, but make sure you understand the facts that you're considering and ensure you ask yourself, okay, if I include these variables in this, thinking about this, what am I ignoring? What variables are not being considered? What variables should be given more relevance or less relevance? This is just the path of thinking and reasoning to properly discern. That's the skill of becoming an enlightened being. It's becoming a mature, realized, an authentic human being. That's all it is. One who isn't corrupted with lies, one who isn't corrupted with insecurities, right? We're here to be, to be authentic, to be with love, to be with joy. to surrender your will, your desires, surrender those away just to be with that which is. And then once you are aligned with that which is and with love, the loving presence of awareness with God, God being the I am, God being that power of awareness that allows you to know I am, your I am. And it's through your I am that you get to see and imagine me, my I am. If God doesn't communicate directly, how are we supposed to know what he wants to do? Trust he has given his will to you, and then do what your heart wants you to do. But think big, think like God. These are the practices I've been practicing. Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't know. Am I right? I don't know. What are the results? Well, I feel pretty settled inside because I make choices that I consider to be wholesome and honest and authentic. And therefore, I don't have a bunch of guilt or regret inside my memory. I feel pretty good inside of my heart living this way. And this is the way I've been choosing to live since 2018. I've been committed to trying to be led by the Holy Spirit. And it's the Holy Spirit. There is a Holy Spirit within all of us. Trust in that. Trust in yours. The Holy Spirit of you, it wants the best for you. Now, the best for you is why you're here. You're here to discover the best of you. And how are we going to discover the best of you if you're not tested, if you're not tried? You don't go through trials. It's all a perfect game of logic, and it makes perfect sense when you bring God into the equation. To me, hundreds trapped, one killed, 350 evacuated to safety. Thank you, Rose. Underway. Wow. A snowstorm trapped nearly 1,000 people on the eastern side of the mountains. Man. Holy cows. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate that. And this is the thing. I've seen the amount of trash that people leave, even on Everest. I mean, I understand there's a number of hikers and bodies they either can't retrieve, it's not cost efficient or safe or something. So people just, but that's the part of life too. Nature just buries the dead naturally. It just gets eaten or decayed or whatever. So why, I didn't mean to start talking about that. Just a total red herring, Jack, and I totally bit into it. The burial traditions and the way that humanity operates. Praise God. I do want to make sure, I know the link is pinned for those who might have interest. We don't have to run long today. And especially if the audio is not really coming through, I'm perfectly good with shutting down. Now, that is something I do want to talk about. For those who are willing, if not now, in the comments at some point, if you're willing, give me some ideas of what you've heard from me that you might like to hear more of. Okay? If you like what you've heard about consciousness or the way I dealt with my drinking or the things that if you find any topic or ideas that you would like to hear more of, please, this is the time. Help me to do a little better job. Help me to be better for you, because that's why I do want to share some of me with you. And here's some realizations I had today, right? I don't know. It's in line with that question that someone else asked. If you don't have direct conversation with God, what do you do, right? Um, kind of lost it. But I don't know. I don't know what to do, where to turn, what to put my energy on. I know what I want. I know what I want more than life itself. But it just seems like it's out of my reach. And this is what I've been reminded of, is the mysteries of life. Okay? I'm confident in the miracles, but I feel like maybe there's something within me. I've clearly got some arrogance and some blind spots because things haven't revealed themselves the way that I know they can. And it's true, I don't know. I never know who will hear, who my words might reach. And it could be my words from 2 years ago are the right words for someone today. And they'll hear them at just the right time. And then something will click. And then an introduction will be made. And then the next thing you know, Jack Talcott, Live Without Fear, they're just all around the world. So today I was reminded earlier in that concept of just letting it go. It's not my purpose. It's not my job. I felt for a long time it was my responsibility, my duty. Find a way. I mean, I chose a purpose. I could have chosen any purpose at all. I could have found any cause whatsoever. And I chose to align myself with that, ending wars, right? And then once I found the faith to believe it could be done, and I felt the responsibility, the added responsibility of I must, it must be me. But I've spent a lot of time imagining it and dreaming of conversations with Jack Talcott, even in my hoodie, having a conversation with the men and women of Congress, with Donald Trump and Vance and all the other characters there too. But I was reminded today it doesn't have to be me. There's already movement towards peace, and it's just not happening as fast as I'd want. And, my prayer and my dream is to be a part of ending wars, bringing reforms. But maybe I'm just a guy with a vision, right? Because that's really all I am. I'm not I'm not anything other than what the facts show. So I'm a storyteller. I tell stories. And I've got a vision for the future. And this vision I see of the future, maybe it won't be with me. Maybe I'll have nothing to do with it. I'm just talking about it. But talking truth into power, right? That's the way it happens. Through the power of God, we find the will, the imagination. It directs our focus, our path, and then the destiny, where we end up in our destinations, although every destination is just a temporary stop. We're all along these paths of development of consciousness, development of diversity, development of life. That's the natural order of the universe. But what this American society has created is the opposite, right? It's quite toxic and misleading. And if you bring in the biblical, the religious aspects, there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of wisdom in what has been left for us. The truth is, God's love is here. And if you can allow yourself to feel God's love with you, with me, I feel it. I feel this surrounding comfort That it's not just surrounding, wrapping itself around me, but it's like enveloping me and it's becoming a part of me. This warmth and awareness of God. And I know that that warmth and comfort and protection of God, it's there with me just because of the power of my. See, it's through God's beingness, right? Through the mind of God, it is and all is. And before the words were spoken, God speaks and things come into being. And that's what we're a part of. And we are made in an image of that. You speak your truth into your life. When you say, I am, watch closely the words that follow that. Because you are either blessing you as a reflection, an image, a child of God, or you're cursing that reflection, that image, that child of God that is you. When you say, I am, think big, think glorious, think healed, think righteous, and be that way. God's glory is truly to be known, but it will only be known by those who have been humbled. So the world will humble you, or you can humble yourself. And when you humble yourself to that which is true, I'm confident you'll find the same love for God that I have, because it's truly mind-blowing. It's truly mind-blowing, and the paradox of what is real, it blows your mind. But what Jesus taught, his way of being, way of love, as he taught, as he told those closest to him, right, when he knew his time was coming, and he had the supper, and he told those closest to him this one commandment I leave for you: love others as I have loved. We're to love each other as he loved those who were closest to him, according to the records and the stories. And if you've fallen in love with the love of Jesus, then you're on the right path. But invite his love to be your love. Invite your love to be his love, so that his spirit of being love walks with you. And allow that love to lead you through your ideas, your imagination, especially when you're thinking about the future. If all you're doing is spending time thinking of the worst case predictions and, oh, this person did that and this person did that, and every time it's always like this, and, oh, poor me, I gotta be like this. I'm making fun of me, okay? Not making fun of anybody else, but this is what happens, man. The ego inside will drive you nuts if you let it. Prepare yourself. I encourage you, prepare yourself to suffer the consequences of being wrong, okay? And then consciously, private, give yourself to God. And then see what happens. See what happens for yourself. Because I know these words describe me, and I can't take credit or blame. But hey, we've got a perfect opportunity. First guest showing back. Welcome back, Landry. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I need the Jack energy right now more than ever. She'd breather. Do you ever do breathing exercises? I know I should more.
They'd be very helpful for you, actually.
Yeah, my mom always told me to do those, and Did you ever feel like something that your parents did was lame just because your parents did it? So you kind of made you not want to do it?
Much of it, dude.
How are you doing
And
today,
this,
man? I'm not trying to change the subject. I apologize.
no, you're doing just fine. Your question, my life, dude, my life brought me to this complete circle. And watching the patterns of my life, hindsight, you get a little clarity. I became the things I judged, and everything I hated, everything I feared, those all became real. And then I realized the cause was me. I had to stop creating those instances that I feared. I had to stop discovering and focusing on the things that made me angry. Because it turns out there's always something to be angry about. There's always something to be afraid about. But there's only so many hours in a day. This one from That Which Is, this idea of box breathing is what I've heard it described as. It is a great method. Breathe in for 4 to 6 seconds, hold for that period, breathe out, hold, and repeat. The goal is, it really is as simple as recognizing when your mind has released the battles, when your body has released the tensions. There is a point, and even though it may not be solid and dramatic, if you can find that shift from the problems, you can find that shift within yourself and feel a little bit more comfort, focus on that. Focus on it better. And then it becomes greater. It really is. Simple as that. So your name came up before you showed up. I saw like 3 channels streaming TML, The Machine Lives. And I thought I heard your voice there.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too. It's like I've been taking this time where I'm not streaming right now, but because I'm trying to do, and actually, well, I am doing things that are more productive, I believe. And then I get dragged into this, and then they're all telling me, "Oh, you're just doing this to do a reaction stream on your channel," but it's really not the case. I think if anything, I made Flow State some money indirectly by doing this, and that's okay. Good for him. I know he's, I don't have any issues with him. But the thing that where it comes down to it, what I do that I feel like gets me in hot water is when I want to express myself and my thoughts on my own space, and people say, "Oh, he just wants to. That's all he wants to do," and it's not true. It's not what I want to do. It's not the only thing. It's just the only way that I feel like I can get those things out there is because when there's a 10-person panel, everyone's just fighting to talk for 10 seconds and all that. But I made the mistake of engaging with him and saying my opinion, and it just kind of spiraled into this sort of snowball. But that's why I'm over here, because it's really not like. I just wanted to be clear that it's not the only thing I'm here to do. I'm not a one-trick pony. Essentially, I do want to have these discussions with some of these people as well. I don't know if I'm always given the opportunity to, because I feel as though there's some notions that are preconceived that people have, and we can never get there. But I do have, thoughts and opinions and feelings. I just don't speak whenever I don't feel like I have anything to say. So I don't know how to explain it, I guess. I'm just rambling right now. But yeah, so I don't know how that happened today, I guess. And I don't mean to bring that here. I'm actually coming here to get away from that.
It's okay. It's all right. It's recent, and I inquired. It's a recent part of your experience. Part of that decompression is sometimes venting, trying to get some of that out so that you can find the more accurate words, right, for what you're feeling. These channels, Landry. This is like the devil's design or God's design for us to get tested. We test each other. Every relationship as a human being, we are an exchange of information and energy. It's all wisdom and love. Look for the wisdom, share the love, and then your job is done, dude.
Thank God. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I want to do, and that's what I feel like I've been doing offline a little bit here. I've tried to, and that's where I wanted to kind of reach out to you. I'm not sure if you're busy or if you'd want to do a private call, but it's been a while since we've done one of those, and I've always appreciated those.
Yeah, I considered it. You were in the list of things I was wondering, what should I do?
Yeah, man. So I would appreciate it, and because, like I said, I've really been, I've been on other people's panels, admittedly, but I don't know. I don't really plan on streaming for a little while. Like, I don't really know how long, but I just don't really have any intention to do it because yesterday I had a really productive day, got a lot of stuff done, and it felt good. And I just sort of said, there's no reason for me to be in a rush to stream. I mean, other than, like, I guess the financial aspect of it, but it puts a halt down to creativity sometimes and progress.
Everything in life, it could become an asset or a distraction. We got to choose what we're doing. And honestly, I said this a long time ago, Landry. These panels, many examples of people who lack a greater purpose for their time. So they hang out, killing time, feeling good, arguing with each other and talking about other people. And I get the social value. I get the entertainment aspect, but I don't really enjoy that stuff as much anymore. And yet nonetheless, there's no denying that we are all genuine people. We are all trying to find our own ways.
100%, man. And yeah, I'm just I don't know, the chat is so toxic too. It's like I can't even look over there.
Yes.
Because it's all it
Landry,
is. They just want to get a reaction out of me, and I just,
yes.
Gotta tune out.
Yes. That's the key. Self-mastery means self-governance. This is the lesson I've had to learn. Some of these people, there's nothing I want more than to reach through and grab them by the throat, but that's not realistic, and that's not the me who I want to be anymore. And that's just what they're looking for. And I don't want to give ignorant fools what they want. I'd rather serve the people who appreciate who I am. And so, see, Burning Tongue, you're such a what's the word? Just constantly poking. Enjoy the reaction and stop streaming.
Yeah, Burning Tongue has been nonstop with talking about you, and everyone else's streams just about Jack and James True and blah, 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 blah. Just like, take a break, Burning Tongue.
It's fascinating, dude. And there you go. This is a great trick. Notice the ones who are not toxic. We can give more attention to that. It's a practice. Online or offline, within us, we have in the mind of awareness and memory, we can find problems everywhere, anything. But the same can be said about beauty and value. What was his name? Groucho Marx? Is that the comedian guy from a long time ago?
I never heard of them.
I think he's from the black and white film days. There's a quote I thought was him. He said something like, every woman is beautiful to some degree. It's just some women you've got to be creative in order to find the beauty.
Well, that's a real thing, though. I'm not sure if you've ever been in like a relationship where you maybe find them, they're okay at first, but then the more you get to know them on the inside, the more you find them physically attractive. It's like it's real.
It is real. It is. But the point is some people that it's really hard to find the beauty because they show so much toxicity or darkness, So look at some of these people as that. It's a test. How great can I love? How much can I overcome? How much can I forgive? And celebrate, because truly love your enemies. Your enemies think you're special, man. I had a tough time with the idea that all news is good news, right? Or all publicity, whatever.
It's not true, though.
No, it's not. This is what I mean. Thank you. Because I've been mocked and ridiculed for several years online, and it's not really been that great for me. But manipulators and gaslighters, they love to say that, hey, all my abuse is for your benefit. Unrelated to abuse, let me welcome our next guest. Welcome back, Denizen. How
I'm
you
here to
doing?
make you better, Jack.
I know you are.
I'm
How are you?
fresh off another panel I haven't been
You sick?
watching today. No.
You sound a little different. There's a bug going around, but Denizen. I mean, I think he might be. If you want to engage in a way that we're civil, I would love to, Denizen. So
I
this is
mean,
your perfect opportunity.
I always try to keep it civil,
Sure.
even in the face of the lack of civility.
Okay.
Many
if you say so.
times you do. Have you guys had
I succeed
disagreements?
some of the times.
Yes.
I'm always trying. I succeed some of the times.
Yeah. You actually do very well. But have you and Landry, Modern Men, lost again? Have you guys had issues?
Not recently.
No.
Good. All right. Hey, well, good. Welcome. While Landry and I have, today is a new day, and really the idea, it's a seed of thought that I really hope to share with anyone and everyone. This simple idea of thinking big with love. Yes, there's plenty of reasons to stop yourself from thinking big. There's plenty of excuses why the big idea can never work. But nothing prevents you from at least considering it. Thinking beyond the limited ideas, thinking beyond the worst case, because the result for anything, you always want to look at what you're doing and why you're doing it. What is the result you want? Well, if you're going to spend time thinking about the future, why don't you start thinking about the future that you want? The world we live in is completely backwards. The society profits from injuring the innocent. We have the chance to fix it. We have the chance to actually do something pretty substantial in this lifetime. And I'm inviting others, play along with me, right? Pretend that you're a part of the Goonies squad or whatever, because that's what I feel like. I feel like a big grown kid. I'm kind of a dysfunction. I'm an outcast from the rest of the group, so I'm looking for other outcasts like me who are so crazy that we believe the world should change.
That's out there, man.
Can you hear the drums by chance in the
little bit.
background?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like drums on my end, but I hear some kind of audio interruption.
Here, I might open it up so you can see what
Is that a protest?
No, it's a band rehearsal. It's the church's band down on the corner of the street. Uh, they rehearse out in the street parking lot, and they're pretty amazing, but kind of loud sometimes too. So here, let me shut it back off. This community I live in, it has so much life, so much character. There's so many different personalities, it seems here. I've really, oh, that's what I was saying. I feel like part of the Goonies, right? Like just a big grown kid having an adventure. Well, join my adventure. Think big with me. Believe that it's time. If we believe it's time for wars to end and reforms to begin, if we believe it's time, we'll find a way. If we think we've got to wait, we'll find an excuse. We'll certainly put it off. But I think it's time, guys. I don't have a lot of faith in the alleged. I don't. You know what? Let me not be a negative Nelly, but realistically, I don't have a lot of faith in the ceasefire proposals brought forth by Trump. I really don't. Oops. In Austin, this comment here. It is time. There's many who realize that it can be done. We can ban wars here on Earth. Damn. And why would we not? If that is an option for us, which I believe it is, why would we not ban wars?
My Halliburton stock would suffer greatly.
That it would. Many of this, the entire stock market would transform. It would actually prove itself to be, my initial thought is irrelevant. However, there's probably a value to be found from the data that's collected regarding the operating efficiency of all these corporations and entities. We live in a time of technology and value, so
It's also the capitalist version of social welfare in a way. Like, it is useful that any American can invest in a large American company and be a part of its profit sharing. But it's just way too skewed that it's become, the common man can't do much without gambling.
no, the theory and the concept, I can get the value, create opportunities for the average Joe to do what the wealthy do, to invest
Right.
in businesses they believe in, to have a partial ownership and get paid for their choices. It makes
Right.
sense until you realize all we're doing is investing in slave ownership and exploitation. We're calling it retirement, but it's still the same process of leeching from one class and giving to another. It's crazy. But we can change it. And Denizen, that's something I don't know the details of you, but you've learned quite a bit regarding how the systems work. the way I see the stock market, even the banking system, all the banking system is technology. It's technology of tracking accounting. It's a tracking data. That's all it is. The tracking and the data don't need to control us. We need to control what we do with it.
Yeah, the algorithms have pretty much taken over trading. And so,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I'm not an investor. I don't believe in American companies, so I don't buy shares. I trade junk options. I buy worthless pieces of crap and sell them for slightly more than what I bought them for.
All right.
Um, that's how I made a majority of my money. Um, what was it that you just said? I was going somewhere with that.
Exploiting, taking from one to another.
What did you say right before I brought up shares?
I don't know. If it comes back, just jump right in, man. Um, I used to be invested. I had my through my work, we had oh, sorry. There's a couple messages. Thank you, Landry. I think I saw what you left in the back, and I'll check it out. Um, the system. Growing up, I was never really raised, I was never really taught, and I won't blame anyone because I never learned. I never learned wise financial practices, and I made a lot of stupid mistakes and grew up with kind of a poverty mindset. I believed in America. I believed in the free market. And, all these ideas I was taught about the benefits of capitalism, and I thought it was great. And then as I got more mature and I started learning more about politics and economics, and as a federal employee, I had a decent, secure wage, so I started looking at investing, right? And I thought I was doing everything right, investing in the future, doing the what are they called? The money markets and the all of that crap. It's all make believe. None of it's real.
Yeah, the market is a meme too now. Like the prices aren't based on valuation anymore. It's just based upon what people will pay.
Yeah.
And the algorithms, will overtake that and push it. Like we're in a constant state of melt up, right? Which is like when everything's already inflated, and so because of that, like the people on the street rush in to get in because of the fear of missing out. And so even though it's already inflated way too much, it gets pushed even higher because now the fact that everything's inflated has become common knowledge. So everybody's like, hey, let me get a piece of that inflation. And so they rush in and they push it up even higher. And I feel like we've been in a melt up state since before COVID. The market's just been, and it could just be the algorithms making it look that way. There's like no tangible organic connection between stock prices and the valuations of these companies and the goods and services they provide. It's literally just a bidding war based upon the symbolism, right? Like, which team do you take, and how much money are you willing to pay for like a piece of the team's logo? you know,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. I guess it's become as symbolically uh, perverse and otherwise bankrupt as every other part of our lives.
Good. It's time for it to be exposed. Um, because it is what everything that starts out as a good idea It's easily corrupted. And what has happened in Wall Street, the greed has corrupted. That's why the banking collapse, right? What just came to mind is the short attention span of the human beings, right? We go from one calamity into another crisis, into another emergency, into all of these things, and people don't actually stop to see what's happening, to remember that, oh, yeah, there was no accountability, right? From the banking
Mm-hmm.
collapse and the mortgage collapse and all these people losing their jobs and their homes. There was no accountability. And then there was this more recently, this rumors and reports of very powerful and people involved with child trafficking and abuse of minors. And, at some point, those things used to be pretty important to some people, to many people. But now we've got this commander in chief and the entire US government on shut now, rather than dealing with, well, bringing justice for the economic collapses of the past, or maybe bringing justice to those involved with child trafficking and blackmail rings and investigating, foreign espionage. But hey, we've also got a US government that's really kind of going to war in South America as well, just off the coast of Venezuela. What's going on in this world from America? This is like out of control, man. It's crazy sauce. Blessings to you. Big dreams to dream. Good night to you. And I'm feeling neither drunk nor stoned. I am feeling neither of those, but I do feel a peace within me. What are you feeling, Denizen?
I mean, right now, I'm kind of stressed out because I'm moving, and that's taking up a majority of my uh, headspace. But I was reflecting on some comments in the chat about the stock market that were true for me. Um, about how it doesn't matter what the stock market, yeah, it doesn't matter what the stock market's doing or selling. It's all just buying and selling emotion, and the end result is all that counts. And that's true. I don't think I know who Does It Matter is. I don't know if we've spoken before, but you sound like a trader. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, only someone who's done it before I could talk that way about it. I think. Um, yeah, and it's really just about taking advantage of the situation. Um, while prices are high, just like they said. But for me, uh, the point of that is to get out of the system, not to perpetuate it.
Right.
I want to turn that Federal Reserve notes into real estate and land and get back to basics. And I don't want to live off the grid, but I want to be off grid capable, right? Like, I want to be able to take care of myself if the grid goes down, you know? And I think people don't recognize these cycles part a lot, like what you said, because there's no accountability. It would lend more credibility to the system that they're trying to tell me is, perfect and all knowing, and the magical hand of the magical market, all knowing market. Communism is the end of the world and the death of millions and all this crap. If they followed their own rules, but they don't. They don't follow their own rules, and they don't hold themselves accountable. They lie, cheat, and steal, and get away with it. Um, and we have it's like the economy is a pyramid scheme, is what it is, and it's built on the back of the youngest laborers. So, they come all, wide eyed and bushy tailed, and they're like, hey, I'm young, I'm healthy, I got nothing to do with myself. Let me work hard and make lots of money, and God bless them. They should be able to do that.
Mhm.
Uh, but it blinds them from, 10 years earlier when everything they're working for was devalued and bought up by the banks, you know? And they're not going to realize that until they're in their 30s or 40s or 50s. And I think that's why senior citizens become the voting bloc that they do, because they actually, after a while, they start to notice the patterns and see how we're all getting screwed over. Um, it's read read The Creature from Jekyll Island. The bankers do this stuff on purpose, and they do it over and over again. the the boom and bust cycle of the American business economy is intentional, in my opinion. It's not, you can't completely control or plan anything so complex, but after thousands of years of civilization, the families and the people at the top who have all the resources and the connectivity and actually care about generational wealth and knowledge, and they actually pass down knowledge from generation to generation. These people are paying attention and they're taking notes, and you're not as complicated or independent or free as you think. After a while, they got your number and they know how to influence you and make you work for them for free and then take your shit at the end of it. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, people are very complex, and yet the patterns of human behavior are very simple to identify and manipulate. The World Economic Forum is right. They're disclosing it. I mean, it's no secret what's been done. We've got a voluntary system. This voluntary system of demo crazy, uh, it's it's insanity. We're voluntarily choosing oppression. We have all of the signs repeated from history. All of the signs of today are pointing towards tyranny, fascism. Authoritarian rule is on the incline all around the world, and it's by voluntary choice. Why? Because God created us with these built in auto destruct mechanisms. If we can't be honest and pure, we will destroy ourselves. Corrupted people get corrupted rulers. Corrupted rulers bring hell upon the lands. This is just the order of nature. Seems to be the order and the patterns of the past, spelled out to us, shown over and over through so many different cultures, so many different traditions. Teach the people the same thing. Stop lying. Stop lying to each other. Stop believing in lies. It's really that simple, man.
I don't
Lindsay,
think it's simple for people. Yeah,
but it is.
she's kind of a, what would you say, a pessimist.
You know what? She can be, but she's also, you know what, Lindsay? I'm glad you're here because you are one of us. Um,
One of us, one of us.
we outsmart ourselves. Lindsay is a very intelligent mind, and her negativity and cynicism, they're joy killers. Every one of us. That is the truth. Every one of us contains in ourselves an archetype, this negative Nancy, negative Nelly, right? Kind of a bitchy version of Jack.
We're that way for a reason. The
Yeah.
the good the good things don't threaten our lives. So we're still in that scarcity mindset, right? Where we're worried about the next thing that's going to come around the corner and eat us. So we pay attention to all the negative patterns because, it's the most important information now. When Once you're not in that situation anymore, then it's no longer the case. Now, positive thoughts become as necessary as food and air and staying away from tigers, and they can feed you and nourish you in the same way. That's probably where some people might want to start. It's just find something that you are positive about, whatever it is, and then just continually recite it to yourself and be positive about that one thing, and it might start to spread and infect you.
I love that suggestion. Finding that one thing. Because here's something about the truth. The truth that I've noticed, it's mysterious, it's powerful. What is true in one aspect will be true in many other reflections, in many other ways. Um, Particularly, you're neglectful in one area of your life. You're showing low self-worth in your relationships. You're going to be showing your low self-worth in your physical health and your economic health and all of your other relationships. The symptom will carry over. And so what's true in one area is true for others. That's why another suggestion for everybody: pay attention to what you are saying. Every bit of advice offered forth for another is for you just as well. And this, yeah. It's as simple as what Frank Monday said. Just simple. Cease negative self-talk. Just stop that. Don't ever do the negative self-talk. And learn to live in abundance, meaning feeling grateful and abundant with all that you have, with a recognition and an awareness of all that you have, so that you're not in fantasy thinking you're living with other things or that you're not living with things. And it is a simple state of mind.
Well, we are having scarcity imposed on us,
Yes.
so you gotta. You don't want to gaslight people who are feeling like they're, you know,
Thank
basically
you.
being, yeah. So that has to be taken into consideration, and then maybe, and then not everybody has. So in this imposed state of scarcity, not everybody has the same level of abundance.
Right.
So it could be a personal challenge for each person to look to the whatever area that is in their life, what they have that is in abundance.
Yes.
And whatever that is, focus on that and then grow from there.
Then isn't
And we
that.
can't and this might maybe we might disagree, but in my experience, not everyone can obtain abundance in all areas too. So sometimes, but try. Don't just say, "Oh, I can't do that." Try again, fail often, and learn from the failing and keep trying. But don't throw good money after bad. You don't want to put yourself in a negative state because of a lack of return. Everybody has different areas in which they are and can be abundant, right?
I love those reminders because it's true. Levels of abundance, it can come in many forms. And we can't, I'm of the belief we can just, no, I think you said it accurately. There's no disagreement from what you said. But abundance and levels of abundance are available for everyone in every area. We can grow in our abundance of love, of support, of health, of money, of opportunities, of comfort, of adventure, of whatever we want. But if we don't notice what we have, if we're just constantly looking for what is no longer there or what never was there, if we're looking for lack and problems, we're never going to see the joy of what's right there. And that's how I used to live. And this is what I mean. My life is a perfect story. I am a storyteller. I used to call myself an activist. You know, I still hold the dream of perhaps being able to play a part, but I'm just telling a story about a possible future, a future of this world where we don't actually have to go to work for a paycheck, but where we find ways to develop and learn and grow into paths where we love going to the jobs that we do because they're fulfilling, they bring us health, they're safe, they're rewarding, and we're learning and growing with what we do. I see that as the future for us, man. And I hope others can join in the idea, because the future that we live starts with the ideas. The ideas we accept become the choices we choose. And I choose to think big. I choose to think with love. And thinking with love and thinking big, I can't think of any other thing I'd rather do in this life. My dream is to be a part of ending wars everywhere. And that includes the wars within the individuals. I had a lot of them. And I'm trying to avoid picking them up because I get a lot of people bring me their disagreements and their conflicts, man. And I'm like, I can do better. Bear Jew, this is no joke. You're right. Here's part of the issue, Jack. Jack gets into my head. I start thinking the what ifs and what am I going to do? And yeah, logic dictates I got to do something to change my situation. Something's got to change. I am the catalyst. I've got to do something different. Which reminds me, perfect reminder, I may not be streaming as often anymore, at least temporarily. Kind of like Landry was mentioning, he's going to take time off from streaming and work on some projects. I don't know what he's doing or what he's got in mind, but I'm thinking the same thing for me. I'm going to try and improve the way I deliver some of these ideas and see if I can get some more clarity, help me look better, help these ideas come through more clearly, and then see if we can get more support. Create this movement. See if these dreams can be fulfilled, man. What do you think, Denison?
I am singularly devoted to um, just what you're saying right now. Almost obsessed with it.
We're on a similar path. Our paths crossed for a reason. Our energies resonate. Our values are very similar, I think. We've come to maybe different conclusions, but we're not done. That's for sure. And you know what? No, Bear Jew, you're not getting it, man. You're not getting it. Connect with Paul and buy some land and what? Hide? Leave the problems for someone else to deal with? That ain't for me. Honestly, my story is so perfect. It just everything comes back around. I mentioned this earlier. I started out, my mom and stepdad were homesteaders. They lived off the wilderness, very natural. I learned how to survive. I'm not afraid of leaving society, leaving the city. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. And so, I don't want to, I know how much work it is to do everything on your own, but this is my theory, guys. If I'm right, God is revealing everything, right? These are the explanations I have, so I don't know how I'm wrong. God, the mystery behind everything, is revealing everything for us, the signs and symbols of the day. It shows that it's time for humanity to change. And the change that makes the most sense is to stop fighting. When men and women are not telling lies, keeping secrets, we're not fighting over this enemy nonsense. When we start cooperating together, heaven comes to earth. There's no more division. There's no more excuses, no more blame. It's just righteousness, justice. That's not even sought from like some judge or jury. Justice and righteousness is just the natural order of being, because we have a world filled with human beings who are taught how to be aware, how to think, how to discern, how to pay attention, how to live, how to love, without the need for government and budgets. I mean, these are the things that are, think about this, just the simple concepts of budgets and governments. They are created to control, to limit, right? To bring in order from the chaos. Because without government, without budgets, oh, there's no limits and there's just no order and it's just chaos and crazy. Everyone's out of control. Okay, maybe.
Sounds like with budgets.
Yeah, everyone's out of control with budgets. It's just an illusion,
What's the
right?
debt now?
Oh, I haven't looked. 33
I stopped
trillion,
counting
I
at
think.
30 trillion.
Well, they say between, I've heard reports between, no, I'm going to go with $23 trillion may be just simply unaccounted for. And I don't know if that's in addition to that 33 trillion that keeps rolling or not. But I mean, the day before the 9/11, the towers fell on 9/11. Rumsfeld tells the nation, "Yep, we in our Pentagon about three trillion dollars are missing. We don't really know where they're at, but hey, crisis, Patriot Act, give your rights away, give your freedom away. You're in danger, danger, danger." Right? And that's what the world did. The world said, "Oh, we're in danger in America. Daddy Bush, send us overseas to the desert. Get us some safety. Get that oil supply taken care of." And so that's what happened. And then somewhere along the way, seems America got adopted by the state of Israel. And ever since, it's like we're just this big old dumbass lapdog that keeps retrieving resources, sending military funding and aid to this out of control nation state that's just, it's criminal. Am I wrong? I mean, I know I say a lot of things and I describe things a little bit differently, but I don't see where I'm wrong. The United States is becoming a disgrace because the truth is no longer hidden. And the emperor has no clothes, yet we've got this King Trump running around worshiping the almighty dollar, right? It's like a little pet toy. It's a shiny dollar, and Donald Trump, ooh, gotta go this way. Gotta tell people that way. I don't know, man. Yeah, it was the first Bush, right? The daddy Bush. his propaganda got me to sign up. Go get me some of those towel heads, man. Make sure democracy is protected. You know, I gotta go where the conflict. How else am I gonna serve my nation if I don't get to fight? Well, I'm telling you, I was brainwashed, guys. I didn't know what I was thinking. But I was open and I was accepted, and people thought I was normal, I think. But you know what? I don't know what they thought. I was wrong about what I thought people thought. I was wrong about a lot of people.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. Was when I realized um, not everyone could even contemplate the thoughts that I was having. And even worse, some people knew every bit that I did and could think about it and still um, come down on the side of fascism, for lack of a better term.
Right,
It's
right.
double down on it, right? Just really, really make the steel man case for it. You know what I'm saying? And then you
Yes,
get a kind of glimpse and you realize, oh yeah, we are not the same. And then I have to extrapolate from there and see that human beings come in a wide variety of everything, including beliefs, principles, morals.
yes.
Yeah, so I think direct democracy would be fun to try. I'm not gonna saying it would solve all our problems. It might even make things worse. But at this point, you know,
It's worth a try.
yeah, I'm worth to
It's
try anything
time.
at this point.
Yeah, it's
It's
time
time.
for change. And what I swear, I've been honest about this. Um, I'm not accredited. I'm not official, but I have found a true fascination with human behavior. And I listen, I study, I pay attention, psychology, sociology, history, and most of all, direct interactions. And this online experiment, man, holy crap, being able to interact with people from a safe distance, right? Because, yeah, I'm a keyboard warrior. I'm hiding behind a screen and, some miles between people. Even though my face is here, there's still degrees of anonymity and safety between us. But holy cows, I've been studying people. People are fucking nuts. I had no idea. Not nuts. You said it beautifully, Denizen, that some people are just unable to actually imagine or conceptualize what it is that you're seeing. They lack the foundational awareness, the foundational knowledge. Mostly, they probably lack the willingness. I'd suggest that's it.
That's true if you get really deep to the root, and especially on a one-to-one basis with a
Yeah.
person. Uh, and it's not the willingness to consider your beliefs; it's the willingness to let go of all of theirs, or some of their
Yep.
preconceptions and their habits and the
Mm-hmm.
things that they identify with, right? Because uh, um, whether God has a purpose for everyone, I won't argue against in the context of this conversation, or there's
Yeah.
no purpose at all, like I believe, whichever one of those is true, doesn't change the fact that the vast majority of people are not living according to either one of those things, right? So they're
Precisely.
making up their purpose as they go along, and if they're not doing it intentfully and intentionally, then they're, you know what I mean, they're a leaf in the wind and being drug around by technology and society itself.
Mm-hmm.
Over socialization, I think, is probably an epidemic,
Mm.
at least in the United States.
Over socialization. I'm taking that to mean that people are over influenced by the social environment out, the external environment. Um, and what you're
Yeah.
saying, dude, yes, all of these things. What's happening in this society? Oh shit! Now I forgot what you were talking about. You said a bunch of things, and I lost the other things you were talking about, Denizen. My apologies.
Um, most of people, what appears to be disagreement or inability to understand is unwillingness. And that unwillingness starts with one's very own motivations and beliefs, like what they think their life means, who they are, etc. That's what they're unwilling to let go of.
That identity. That's what I wanted to swing back to, is
Yeah.
what you pointed out, the identity of who they believe they are. And what came to my mind, you know these characters. Tommy, Illuma Tommy. His character is deeply ingrained with this idea that Jack is wrong. If Jack is not wrong, then his identity is going to be shattered. That's the way I see it. And not just him, but a lot of others too.
It seems to have become a caricature of itself at this point. I
Yeah.
would argue, probably before I came along, Tommy found the ways in which he vehemently disagrees with you on
Mm-hmm.
things that are important to him in his identity. For example, Christ, God, the Bible, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
these are very important things to him, and he has very defined boundaries as to what he thinks
Well,
he, the texts mean and what God's message is and what Jesus wants and this and that, right? He seems to be pretty assertive about it.
yeah.
So at some
He,
point, you said something about one of those things that offended the way he identifies with it,
yep.
and that's probably that was a valid, you know, disagreement, criticism, whatever you want to call it. But now I think it has become more about fuck Jack. Jack is always wrong. Jack's full of shit. It's
Mm.
just, that's it just morphed into that. There's nobody's really talking about God anymore. We're just talking about how Jack doesn't
Right.
know his ass from his elbow.
Right. Thank you. This is what I mean. I'm an example. People are getting caught up on the messenger, losing sight of the message. And here's where I can see it because I was wanting to see it, right? And I found in the patterns of my life, patterns of the stories, there's similarities between me and Jesus. Now, I don't claim that makes me anything special. It just made me see the similarities between me and him, and it made me accept what he said more for me. But I still know I'm the same as everyone else. And so, if in fact I am being used by God, following that path, which I feel that I am, the new messages of this time are going to be how we succeed together. Because I truly believe the vision of the future, the return of Jesus, is the return of love. Holy crap. Love has been lost. Love has been absent from the law, and love has been absent from the logic that drives our economic, our political system. Love has been absent from those things. So if we bring love back to logic and we bring love back to the law, well, guess what? We got everything we need here on earth to fulfill the prophecy that was spoken of. We've got everything we need and every reason to end wars and immediately start reforms. For that would be in line with the gospel being the good news that repent to know God. It is always a choice. If we step away from the truth, if we step away from love, that is the sin. That is the mistake. But the amazing thing about truth, the amazing thing about love is they're very forgiving. I mean, they're punishing, but they're very forgiving. Well, truth isn't forgiving. Love is forgiving. But we can forgive ourselves for our feelings on what is true. We can forgive ourselves for feeling inadequate, for feeling resentful, for feeling angry, for feeling afraid. We can forgive ourselves when we choose to give those unhelpful feelings away. This is the practice I've been practicing for myself. I want to give away the unhelpful feelings, the limiting ideas. Those are not mine. Not if I want to succeed. I got no time for those. I got no space for those limiting ideas. I've got to find a way. That's what I've been feeling since 2018, but more recently, Denizen, the signs from God that I've seen personally. Deeper surrender. Deeper surrender to the will of God is the only way to win. Because that's through our surrender, through the individual surrender of me, of you, by our choice to surrender, that creates a space. We surrender our fight, our will, our desire. We create a space for the will, the desire, the strength of Christ to come forth. It's a beautiful dance and a perfect design that God has offered for us. And I'm pretty sure this is what it is, what it means. I said a lot again, Denizen. Anything you've got, man.
No, I'm just listening to you.
I'm feeling like it may be time to start wrapping up. I'm going to do some final words and keep it under a couple hours. Final thoughts from you, my friend?
Good to talk to you again.
You as
Thanks
well.
for having me up.
Much love. I'm going to drop you to the back. You're welcome to stick around, but
Peace.
yes, peace and love. The real intention, the real purpose behind my streams, it is intended to be peace and love, man. The idea of peace for everyone. Choose love. End wars. Love is the answer. Holy cows, man. And praise God, of course. Because this is the path I found myself. This think big with love. Man, if I'd have heard those ideas coming out of my mouth, I might have punched me, right? If I had heard this coming from Jack a while back in my more, disrespectful days of myself, I might have been punching me, man. Who the hell are you to say things like this? You ain't got no place to talk about love, think big. Who the hell are you? You ain't accomplished nothing. Nobody likes you, blah, 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 blah. Some of the voices that we get brought up from others. Today, brothers and sisters, the idea of think big with love. I didn't really tie it to the scripture in the thumbnail. You shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. I didn't really go into that a lot, but what truly is the way of Jesus, the way of love, that is God's will, okay? I've reached this point in my studies and my education, and I could be wrong, but I don't know how. I don't know how I'm wrong, and I don't know where I'm wrong after everything I've looked at. God is, okay? And the will of God is revealed through the moments of time. This time is you. You are this time. You are this moment that God is revealing for the world to discover. And you get to discover the world and the universe, the stars in the heavens, the mountains, the waters, everything. You get to discover it all through you, the eyes that God gave you, the mind that God offers you, that shares with you. Truly, The only way to have peace and success in you is through you and with you, but the only way to know you, the real you, the power of you, the true holiness of you, is to surrender you, the corrupted part of you, the part that tries, that wonders, that gets in the way, the one that doesn't know. It's in the way of the knowing part of you. It's a beautiful description. I hope I'm making sense. I'm going to wrap it up here and forewarn for those who are a part of this journey and you appreciate the consistency, I do feel it's time. I'm going to take some time back and try to refine, see if I can highlight some of the content and some of the messages I want to get out. And the goal will be to tell my stories. And who I get to share with, who the audience is, who hears my words, well, that's out of my hands. But I've got stories that I want to share with Donald Trump, the men and women of Congress, people at the United Nations, all the state assemblies, all the corporate leaders, all the banking leaders. Eventually, I'd love to have conversations at the Vatican as well. But until then, till next time, I'm going to wrap it up here. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all. Peace and thank you.